Welcome to Damia, Sage of Stones. As far as our opening hand goes, we've got 3 land. Yeah, we'll keep on this one. I like this. We've got Cultivate, which is a very nice thing. We've got Supreme Will that we can use as a counter spell, but we're probably going to be using it as the modal effect. If I look at the top 4 cards of your library to find ourselves a green source, unless we draw into it. Oh, well, Worn Power Stone. We'll definitely take that. I'm just going to lead off with Temple of Deceit. Let's get a little bit of Scry going, a little bit of Scurry. Maybe just a little bit of Fever, some Insanity. Ooh, Life from the Loam. Do we? Yeah, I think we do. All right, we're going to put that on top of our library. We will find a green source, and we will leave Life from the Loam on top of our library. Anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn over to our opponent. We're playing Damia, Sage of Stone. At Death Touch, skip your draw step. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you have fewer than 7 cards in your hand, draw cards equal to the difference. Playing against Erebos, God of the Dead. Indestructible Devotion 5 turns into a creature. Then your opponents can't gain life. And for a 2 mana, pay 2 life activation, draw a card. Our opponent's going to have Bitter Blossom come down. And so, let's have some fun. Let's go for Island. Yeah, we'll just straight up just go. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, Arcane Signet. That's going to be a green source. So, we'll be in a pretty good spot. So, anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn over to our opponent. We did cover both commanders. Give a quick shout out to our sponsors, MTGO Traders. If you find yourself wanting to sit in Damia's little chair, head on over there. They've got all the cards that you may need. Also, let's give a quick shout out to inkgaming.com/jolt. If you'd like to pick up something from their website, if you go to inkgaming.com/jolt, that will apply the coupon code and help the channel at the same time, and it'll also treat yourself. So if you haven't treated yourself in a long time, make sure that you do. It's always very nice. Do we want to? Yeah, because we can temple. Actually, let's do this first. Let's go Cultivate off of Arcane Signet. Let's grab ourselves Double Forest, or do we want to grab an Island? I think we don't have. We have like double green in here, but that's about it. And with Arcane Signet, that'll be an extra 1. So, yeah, let's just do that. So let's go and grab ourselves 2 force. Have 1 force enter the battlefield. Let's go for Temple of Malady. Let's get a little extra Scry, a little extra Scurry. Ooh, yeah, let's do that. Because in this matchup against Mono Black, having access to Cyclonic Rift is going to be a huge, huge thing for us. So, anything else, we're going to pass turn to our opponent. So yes, be sure to check out inkgaming.com/jolt. And last but not least, I started a Patreon. So if you'd like to get your support cool content like this, there's a link down in the description below to my Patreon. Or if you'd like to get your hand on some of the promotional tokens of the month, make sure that you're a patron of my Patreon. You'll be automatically entered into the giveaway. So there we go. Let's have some fun. So we rip into that Cyclonic Rift. And I think at this point, we just start ramping as quickly as possible. So let's go Worn Power Stone. One of the good things about this deck is that we do have ways to kind of recur stuff out of the graveyard. And we have no lands that we can put. So we're just simply going to click OK. Let's go Life from the Loam on an empty graveyard. Let's have Water Your Grave, enter the battlefield tapped. And then, anything else, pass the turn over to our opponent. So now, as far as how much mana we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we are looking at being able to get Damia down and cash some card draw. But if you're playing Damia, if you have a commander that costs 6 or more, one of the things that you want to do is you're investing a lot of mana into your commander. You want to have some sort of protection for your commander, and right now we simply just don't have that. We have Supreme Will, but we want to be able to get into a spot to where, especially if you're playing against Mono Black, they just went for a tutor. More than likely, they're expecting Damia to come down soon. That'll probably end up happening. So, long story short, you want to have some sort of protection for Damia. Some of my early frustrations with Damia, because I've been doing my channel for about 3 years now, and Damia was one of the first commanders that I built, and one of my early frustrations with her was that I didn't have a good build, and at the same time, I would just rush her out, I wouldn't have any protection, and then she'd get hit with the removal, and then it's just a good game from there. And so, a little bit of a bummer. So let's go Dredge Life from the Loam, and then, yeah, that's good. Got a Growth Spiral and got a Swamp in the graveyard. Let's make the land drop for the turn. If we want to, we can go for Cyclonic Rift. That will give them an extra Sidisi trigger, which I'm not super wild about. But we also just have straight up just Stroke of Genius for a bunch of cards, which would be very nice. You know what? Let's try to do that. So what if we end up going for Damia? Yeah, I think I kind of like this. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's going to be just enough for Life from the Loam. Yeah, let's do this. So let's go Damia. If Damia sticks, awesome. If not, then we're going to be on the Stroke of Genius game plan from here on out. So let's go 2 more. That's going to be black, blue, and then 1 more. It's going to leave just enough for Life from the Loam. Okay, Kiki. Sorry, Dorothy was sleeping underneath my. If you don't know, Dorothy's my production assistant. She's my long-running production assistant. She's my cat, and she just woke up and said, "I need to be picked up." So, she's in my lap now. So that way, if you're keeping score at home, Dorothy is officially in my lap. So anything else, let's just go and pass the turn. Yeah, we're completely wide open to a piece of removal, but if they've got it, they've got it. They've only got 4 cards in the hand, and the way this deck plays out is once you get Damia down, you cash in that card draw, then you're going to slowly start to win the game. You know, if something happens to Damia, we've got Stroke of Genius. We're going to be able to cash in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, even 7 cards. So being able to draw a fresh script, that's going to be pretty good. Now, our opponent does have Bolas's Citadel, and they're going to be able to cash in some card draw. So what we may end up doing is going for this Cyclonic Rift if we do end up getting Damia to kind of stick around, because with Citadel, look at the top card of your library, played in any turn, and then they pay life equal to its mana cost. So I think this would probably be a pretty good Cyclonic Rift territory. So, all right, so we got Erebos and CDC swinging in. At the very least, we're at least going to be able to Rift, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, that's going to leave just enough for Supreme Will, so we can at least maybe kind of counter something with Supreme Will. So let's go for the Damia. I'm not going to Dredge Life from the Loam on this one. Frantic Search, Woodland Cemetery, ooh, and then Mana Drain. Oh, that is exactly what we want to see. So let's go for Woodland Cemetery. It's going to enter the battlefield. Let's at least just go and push in with Damia. Or if we Rift, we're going to be able to get in for a free... Yeah, either way, we might as well just go and get in. So let's go with Overload. That's going to be 1, 2, 3. Alright, so I'm going to send everything back to their hand. Let's go and swing in for 4. Oh, look at that. Alright, so pushing in for 4, it's going to put them down to 18. It's going to be 4 total commander damage, and then I think we could go for a Frantic Search if we wanted to. But I think we just end up waiting on Mana Drain, because we've got Supreme Will to stop Citadel, which is going to be the important thing, or stopping something like Sidisi, and so I think we're in a pretty good spot. So, but yeah, with Damia, Damia is, it's one of those commanders that when I first built her, she originally started off as a Planeswalker, like Sultai Super Friends, and that was fun, but it was just, you have these 2 competing strategies that didn't really work out that well. Damia is going to give you some really nice card advantage, but if you can't keep her on the battlefield, it's hard. And then Planeswalkers, there's just a lot of tapping out with the initial build of the deck and hoping that nothing happens. So let's go for Mana Drain. Yeah, we want to keep that bad boy off the battlefield. That puts them on 4 mana, so they're going to have to, basically only 3 mana, so they're going to have to go for something like Bitter Blossom, and then we're still going to be able to cash in some card draw. So, and then we still have Supreme Will too, which can be very nice. So, we got very lucky that our opponent did not have any spot removal in their hand. That's one of the fun things about Damia is you can just kind of go for a little bit of a riskier line of play, and then be paid off very well for it. All right, so, ooh, and the Summary Dismissal. Okay. This is exactly where we want to be. So let's go Mana Drain. Let's go for a quick Frantic Search with this extra mana. And I think what we'll end up doing is tapping down 2 blue sources and a green source. So let's go Frantic Search, and we'll use that colorless mana. There we go. And we'll see if there's anything that we need to grab. But either way, with Summary Dismissal, we're in a pretty good spot. So let's go Frantic Search. At this point, what we're trying to look for is something to close the game out. That's going to be something like Villainous Wealth. No Life from the Loam at this point. Ooh, and then Eternal Witness. All right, so we're going to have to discard 2 cards. Let's get rid of Scalding Tarn, and we'll just get rid of a Swamp. Let's untap 3 lands. It's going to be 1, 2, 3. Let's go Hedron Archive with that last 4 colorless mana. There we go. And I think at this point, we just keep Supreme Will and Summary Dismissal online. We can go for Eternal Witness. Yeah, I think Eternal Witness on Mana Drain does sound pretty good. So let's get that last green source down, because that's going to put us on 4 different sources or at least 3 different sources of counter magic. Now, that does put us in a... No, we do have Arcane Signet, so either way, we're going to be online for that. So let's have Eternal Witness come down. Let's grab ourselves a Mana Drain, and then we'll slowly be able to start chipping away at our opponent's life total. But yeah, long story short, with Damia, it started off as a Super Friends deck, and it's gone through a lot of changes over the years. I've cut the Planeswalkers back with each kind of update to the deck, and then finally just got to the point where I was like, this is not Sultai Super Friends anymore. What are we doing with the deck? And one of my patrons suggested that we make Damia an Unbound, or I think my patron suggested that we make an Unbound Flourishing deck, and I was like, ooh, I can make that, there we go, get that Mana Drain back. I can make that my Damia deck, and so that's kind of the secondary game plan for the deck, and I'll kind of explain some of the ways that we can win here in a second. But let's go and swing with Damia, be able to get in for 4, and that'll put us at 8 total commander damage and put them down to 14. So that'll be a pretty good feeling. Yeah, that Cyclonic Rift and stopping Citadel was a very nice feeling. That was very much needed. Okay, so we're pushing in with Damia. That's going to be 4 coming across. That's going to put them down to 14 and be 8 total commander damage. And then, yeah, I think we just pass the turn. We've got a ton of options to go for. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we've got 11 mana. So even if we go Summary Dismissal or Mana Drain, we've still got Supreme Will. Or we can just tap out for Stroke of Genius to cash in a ton of cards. That will negate our Damia trigger, though. But at this point, if you're going for Stroke of Genius for a bunch of cards, that's the least of your worries, missing out on a Damia trigger. But yeah, with this becoming an Unbound Flourishing deck, one of the ways that we do win is by... It's not necessarily like a combo deck to where we have to have Unbound Flourishing on the deck. It's on the battlefield. It's just one of those that it's a kind of a win more style card without it being a win more, if that makes sense. It's just so much value once we have Unbound Flourishing on the battlefield that if we do end up going for something like a Villainous Wealth, we go for something like Exsanguinate, Torment of Hellfire, whatever that may be, just being able to kind of amplify that X spell, in addition to this just being a Sultai ramp deck, we're just going to be in a very good spot to kind of take the game over from there. Now, our opponent does have coffers with a ton of swamps out there. So we've got Mana Drain, and they do know about Mana Drain. So at least kind of jam a quick Mana Drain on this one just to kind of stop that. And then we'll see what else they're going for. This might end up being like a Sidisi, I guess. And one ways that we could do if we want to stop this is we could just straight up just go for a Supreme Will. Because, no, they have to pay 3. So, yeah, let's just do that. Let's go Mana Drain on this. There we go. That's one of the good things about Damia is, we had an earlier play of getting Damia out there, hoping that they didn't have removal. And their opponent's going to scoop it up on that one. So, but, this getting a Sultai value win is one of the ways that we went with the deck. And so, like I was saying, there's sometimes to where if our opponent has a piece of spot removal, this game doesn't play out like this. But if Damia goes unchecked, you're going to be able to draw 3 to 4 cards each turn. You've got some good spot removal in Mana Drain, or not spot removal, some good spot spells. Key cards like Mana Drain, Summary Dismissal. It's just hard to bounce back from Cyclonic Rift with just insane card advantage with Damia. So there we go. We like to win with Unbound Flourishing or Villainous Wealth, but Damia can sit from her chair and just generate value and win the game, and that's exactly what we did. So if you enjoyed the video, hey, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye. Welcome to Thryx, the Sudden Storms. As far as opening hand goes, we've got Sol Ring. Yes, we will keep on this one. I love it. We've got Sol Ring, Chromatic Lantern, 3 lands. We've got Mana Drain, which is a wonderful early option for us to go for some counter magic. And we've also got Time Warp, which is, it's always nice to take an extra turn, especially in Thryx like this, getting that reduced cost. And good luck to our opponent, too. Our opponent just said, do what thou wilt shall be. The whole of the law, good luck, and then smiley face. So that's what they said in the chat. So anyway, whatever that means, let's have some fun. Hope you're excited for some Thryx. So we'll see if our opponent wants to... hey, it's Magic Online for you. Good luck, buddy. We'll wait for them to get through this... oh, there we go. All right, so it's there. We'll let them get this started. But yes. Welcome to some Thryx. Hope you're excited. Yeah, whenever you read that, it's always kind of like, do what? We're playing Thryx, the Sudden Storm, Flash and Flying. Spells you cast with converted mana cost 5 or greater, cost 1 less to cast, and can't be countered. Ooh, rip into Jace the Mind Sculptor. So let's go for Island. Let's see if we can't hold on to this fetch land for Jace. So let's go for Sol Ring. That's going to be 1. And then anything else, pass the turn over to our opponent. So playing Thryx, already covered that. Playing gets Galia of the Endless Dance. Haste, other satyrs you control get +1/+1 and have haste. Then whenever you attack with 3 or more creatures, you may discard a card at random. If you do, draw 2 cards. So, and that's going to be 3 or more creatures. So, and it's actually pretty interesting. This is the first time I'm playing against her. And so... see what we're in store for. So now we can go for Jace. If we go for the Brainstorm ability, I guess either way, let's go and make the land drop because that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. We could go for Chromatic Lantern and leave up Mana Drain, or if we want to go for Jace and just kind of get an extra Brainstorm, I think that sounds pretty good. So let's do that. So let's go for Jace because that's going to force our opponent to swing in with their commander. Let's go for the Zero ability. Draw 3 cards. If we wanted to, we could kind of start to Fate Seal, but I just kind of want to dig just a little bit deeper into our library if we can. So let's go and put Buried Ruin on top of our library, and let's put Misty Rainforest back on top, and then anything else pass turn to our opponent. So we did cover both commanders. Give a quick shout out to our sponsors, MTGO Traders. If you want to be one of the Thunder Thrix in the sky that helps get Thrix get his thunder and lightning going, hey, head on over to MTGO Traders. We're looking for some Storm people. Also, let's give a quick shout out to inkgaming.com/jolt. If you go to inkgaming.com/jolt, and that will apply the coupon code to treat yourself and also to treat the channel at the same time. And if you want to, while you're there, if you want to check out some of my playmats, search Jolt539. There you go. And check out some of my Mad playmats, which is pretty fun. All right, so our opponent did end up going for Chameleon Colossus, which is going to have haste. So either way, we're going to make the land drop. Let's go for Misty. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think what we can do, we can go for Chromatic Lantern, but at this point we can just flash in Thrix, and let's just go and leave that up, because our opponent does swing in with their commander. We can at least go ahead and flash in Thrix and stop their commander, and then see if they have any other sort of action, and I think that would be a pretty good option. And last but not least, I started a Patreon, so if you'd like to get your hands on some of these sweet promotional tokens, or if you want to support cool content like this, there's a link down in the description below. You get your name in the credits too, whatever floats your boat, and if you're keeping score at home, it is officially free time. Let's have some fun. So we've got enters the battlefield, destroy target artifact. Now, if we go for Mana Drain, that will cut us off Thrix, but man, they just spent a ton of mana for that, and I think we're going to be okay with that. So let's go for Mana Drain. And that's one of the downsides to playing like random tribal, is that you've got Wild Celebrants, you've got 5 total mana for that. And so, anyway. But we are under some pretty good pressure from our opponent right now. We're already down at 19 total life total. Let's go and crack Misty. And at the very worst, what we'll do is we'll just flash in Thrix. We've got another blue source of Flooded Strand. Let's grab ourselves another island. And we'll leave that Mystic Sanctuary online for us. So let's add that colorless mana to our mana pool. It's going to be Gilded Lotus, which is going to be 5/3. And that'll also be Thrix. Yeah, that'll work out. Okay, so instead of just flashing in Thrix, let's go ahead and go for Gilded Lotus. Basically going to be a free spell. Let's make the land drop for the turn. Let's go triple blue for Chromatic Lantern. And what we can do is we can actually go for River's Rebuke if we want to, but I think let's try to go for one more turn where they do swing in, and then we'll flash in Thrix. I think that'll be a pretty good option. Now, if we are going to be going for the extra turn route, we don't really have this set up to where we're going to be closing the game out with extra turns, but you can see where we can go for Time Warp. That goes to our graveyard. Then we go for something like Mystic Sanctuary, Flooded Strand. That's going to allow us to Reckless Reveler. Okay. Let's see if they're going to go ahead and pop that. Because if they do, it's not the end of the world. Creatures can't block. Okay. This is definitely a pretty fun build from our opponent. Let's see what's going to be swinging in. They don't have the option to discard a card at random, so they're not going to be able to draw 2 cards. So let's go and flash in Thrix. That's going to be 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So we're going to flash in Thrix. He's going to come down. He's going to make sure that her little party doesn't keep going. Let's go and block Thrix. Oh, excuse me. We can't block with Bedlam out there, duh. All right, that's going to put us down to 8. And then, I guess worst case scenario, we almost need to save the Sanctuary for River's Rebuke. I think that'll be a pretty good option. So, and then anything else. Yeah, let's kick it back over to our turn. Phyrexian Metamorph. So let's go for River's Rebuke. We're going to target our opponent. That's going to be 1, 2. All right, so we're going to return everything back to their hand. Let's go and swing in with Thrix. That's going to be a 4. That's going to put them down to 18. Now, they do have the haste option with everything being sent back to their hand, but let's just go and go for a Time Warp. I think that sounds pretty good. So it's going to be Time Warp. We are going to take the extra turn. Not our opponent. Yeah, that wouldn't be too good. All right, and then let's go ahead and crack Flooded Strand. Let's grab that Mystic Sanctuary. And let's put Time Warp back on top of our library. So that's going to be an extra way that we can take an extra turn this after this extra turn, which will allow us to, yes, definitely want to use that ability. That's going to go on top. And we're in our extra turn now. Let's draw into Time Warp. Let's go and swing in with Thrix. Now, we do have Phyrexian Metamorph. The only downside, it's not really going to be able to do much at this point right now. But we will see. So let's go and swing in for 4. That's going to put them down to 14 and 8 total damage. And let's go for Rise. Actually, we'll do this. We'll go Time Warp. And then if we end up going for Rise from the Tides, that's going to give us at least 4 zombies on the battlefield. Okay, opponent's going to scoop it up on the opponent goes, good game. So what we're going to be able to do is we're going to get those 8 zombies on the battlefield. We're going to be able to swing in for 4 in the air. We don't have any extra turns, so depending on how they sequence this, they might be able to get in enough combat damage, but you're looking at just going for the Changeling and then getting down their Commander, which is going to be 6, which puts us down to 1, and then that should allow us to swing in on the back end, and that also kind of cuts them off Ancient Tomb. So there we go. I'm not a huge fan of extra turn cards, but when you've got Thrix, you've got the option of just going for an extra turn. You can just flash in a Sanctuary to get that extra turn back. Oh, that is some good magic. So anyways, if you enjoyed the video, hey, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.